Hey there, welcome back to another video. It's Chris. For those who are new to the channel, I am the founder and conversion copywriter at Conversion Alchemy, where I help B2B SaaS companies get to message market fit by matching the fucking shit. Hello, welcome to the channel. Hello and welcome to the channel. For those of you who are new, I'm Chris. I'm the founder and conversion copywriter at Conversion Alchemy, where I help B2B SaaS company get to message market fit by matching their copy with the conversation already happening in their customers' minds. One of those ways that I do that is through laying out writing copy for home pages, right? So today, especially because I've got a lot of requests, a lot of questions on some of the mentoring and coaching sessions that I do from SaaS founders, marketers, growth managers. A lot of people were kind of unsure and confused when it comes to laying out and writing copy for your homepage. Is it all about the value proposition? Is it all about social proof? How do I lay out my story, my argument? So today I wanted to walk you through a quick structure that it's pretty effective, and I found it's super effective for B2B SaaS companies, but not only, it works in pretty much any industry. So I wanted to walk you through this and also kind of explain how it works, the psychology behind it, and show you some examples from some of my client work, websites that are already live. And so let's get started. So, the anatomy of a high converting B2B SaaS home. The anatomy of high converting B2B SaaS home pages. So, first, before getting started, it's important to mention when we go through this process, we have our typical B2B SaaS buyer in mind, right? So it can be CMOs, CFOs, CTOs, COOs, so an executive basically, HR, developers, sales, so pretty much any B2B role that you can come up with. It's the audience for these types of websites. So it's important to understand their decision making process, their psychology, and that's what we're going to look at. So this is the typical structure of a homepage that I typically use in my projects and that I walk my clients through. Uh, Disclosure, this structure, a lot of this structure, a lot of the thought process, I learned it from Joanna Weeb at Copy Hackers. So check her out. I'm going to post link to Copy Hackers website in the description. She's great, awesome, and she's got a lot of mental models, frameworks that you can use for your own websites. So how does this work, right? So a lot of people, the main misconceptions that they have and that I see from clients when they think about their homepage is that they think that they should start with their value proposition, right? So immediately, as soon as someone lands on their homepage, they should tell them what they do, right? What makes them the best, the better among all the other solutions, right? But that's probably the biggest mistake that I see. Rather, the way that we should start a homepage, since it's basically the hub for all people that find us, is to try and as closely as possible match the conversation that they are already having in their minds. And this is why we should try to mirror what they're thinking. And this is our point number one. Then we go into proof. So we prove what we just said, that it's real, and that we start to hint at our solution as basically the thing that can help them, right? And then this is where we actually go into the value proposition, the what we do to help them with that. So this is where a lot of people start from, and they miss the opportunity to actually resonate with visitors right away. So keep that in mind. After we told them what we do, we told them how we do it. And this is where we dig even deeper into the differentiation, the benefits, the features, and all the good stuff, with a lot of visuals that we'll walk you through later. After that, it's important to address the switch and anxiety, right? So at this point, they know that we kind of understand them, we trust them in a way, we know what they do, we know how they do it, but still there's some kind of friction because either they're using another solution, another tool, or an alternative that can do the job of this tool, right? It doesn't need to be a direct competitor who does the same thing. Can even be another way of doing the same thing, the status quo, let's call it like that. So it's important to address it in this section here. So any objection. Then we launch into a bit more proof just to back up whatever we said about competitor solutions and how we stand out. And finally, we close it. We close the sale. It's important always to close, right? So this is the basic structure. So let's move forward. It's important to understand the psychology. I mentioned, right? So this is another kind of a heuristic principle that I learned from Andre Morris. So he worked with Conversion Excel, and he's got his own consultancy, and he teaches this very helpful, useful framework for thinking about how people go through a website and make decisions. So I basically mapped it out on top of these sections just to give you an idea of what's going on for each section. The first section, we'll call it relevance and resonance. So it needs to be relevant. Then we got proof, it's all about trust. The what we do section is all about helping people orient themselves, navigate, and also understand what we do, clarify. Then we have the how section. It's all about stimulation. So making it clear why they should sign up, by making it enticing, making it compelling. Then we got the switch section. It's all about security and convenience, the process, but also the product. Everything needs to be secure, safe, convenient as well. So we might dig into pricing. After that, we got another proof, again, security and convenience. So this time it's not only about trust, but it's also about proving that what we just said here is going to be true when they buy. And finally, the close. It's all about confirmation. It's about confirming that they're going to get everything that we just said, but it's also about confirming to themselves that their choice is has been the right choice, right? So it's all about making it a bit redundant, just so that the brain gets the logical satisfaction, right? Moving on, it's important to understand another principle of decision making, what's going on under the hood, right? So we got all these steps, but what's really happening here in the minds of our potential customers? And this is a framework that you can learn from Bob Moesta. Great book is Demand Side Sales 101. Highly recommend it. And this is basically what's going on inside their minds, right? So the causation, the jobs to be done. This is another principle that Bob Moesta co-created. And it's all about understanding what jobs your product solves for your potential customers. At the basis of these jobs, there's these four forces that influence their decisions. We have the push of the situation, which is all about problem solving. We have the pull of the new solution, right? So two positive forces here. The current situation, they're not really satisfied. They have problems that they want to solve. The pull of the new solution, there's an attraction. The new solution, the new shiny toy attracts them, right? So these are positive forces that we should try to increase, to emphasize. And then we got the negative forces at the bottom. So we have the anxiety of the new solution, which is basically all the unknowns, everything that we still don't know about the current solution that we are trying to figure out when we make a decision. And then the habit of the present, which is our current situation. It can have problems, it can have some friction already, but there's also that comfortable feeling of something that you know, right? And that works, might not work perfectly, but still works. So all of these two are the negative forces that counterbalance these positive forces. Um, as it says here, these two forces promote a new choice, and these two forces block change. So we should try to increase these and decrease these. So what do they look like in our framework, step-by-step framework here? If we map them out, we can see that they basically match almost perfectly, right? So we have the push, what they're thinking, we are addressing it in these two steps. So actually three steps. So what presenting the solution and kind of explaining to them that we can solve their problems. So next step, we got the pull, which is how we do it. So we kind of stimulate their restart. In our framework here, in our step-by-step framework that we looked at before, how do those forces map out? And we got them here. So we can see that we have the push of their current solution, so the problem they're experiencing, we are matching it here right away. So we show them that we understand them, we show them we know that they have that problem, and we're starting to show them that we can help them. Then we have the pull of the new solution. This is where we present what we do and how we do it, right? We present our solution in relation to their current situation. Then we have the habit. So habit, they are used to other solution, other competitor softwares, and this is where we address the switch, all about security and convenience, and we also prove that. And finally, in between here, between proof and the close, we address the anxiety, right? So we reconnect with the top, we make it clear that we can help them with all of everything that we just said, and we confirm that it's going to be the right choice for them. So let's go deeper into each one. So relevance and resonance, what are they thinking? How do we structure this first section? Typically the main structure that we always follow is a headline, subhead, and a primary CTA, call to action. This is a simple step, simple formula. You can add a visual, you can add an explainer video, but this is the typical section. There's a lot of relevance and resonance, as we mentioned. What are these? So relevance is this what I was looking for? And resonance is kind of the expansion of relevance. Resonance is more about the emotions, right? Does this resonate with what I'm thinking? So always keep these two in mind. Then we have awareness, another big thing that we should keep in mind, as you probably or maybe not know from the book Breakthrough Advertising by Eugene Schwartz. He coined this level of awareness. So you have unaware, problem aware, solution aware, product aware, and most aware. These are the levels that we find ourselves whenever we try to make a decision. We might be aware of our problem. We might be aware of other solutions. We might already be aware of a specific product. And we might already be almost convinced that we want to buy from that company. So it's a linear scale. So you should know how aware your prospects are when they get to the website and address it in your headline and subhead. Then we have sophistication. Sophistication is about how much do they know, right? They might be solution aware, so they might be aware of potential solutions, but they might not know the terminology or the jargon or the tech behind it, or they might know it, right? So there's levels to the sophistication as well that you should address. Then we have emotional direction. This is pretty helpful and powerful, especially if you're testing different angles for your copy. You might test pain or gain angle. What does it mean? It means that any kind of value proposition or statement that you make can be framed either in terms of your prospects moving away from a current pain they're experiencing or going towards a gain, a goal that they have, right? A dream outcome. So remember these two directions and maybe even test a couple of different headlines that use the different variations. Step two, proof. This proof section, pretty simple. It's all about using social proof, right? So you can use any logos, publications you've been featured in, testimonials, short explainer videos. Always try to keep explainer videos in the above the fold 30 seconds to 1 minute. Pretty straightforward. And this is all about trust. Remember, people can actually start forming a first impression in 50 milliseconds. So there's been studies done on this. So always remember that proof. Your visitors might not actually maybe read all your testimonials, but just seeing the testimonials and seeing the visuals of the social proof and the logos, all of that subconsciously influences their decision. Third, what we do to help them with that, right? So this is where you start with your value proposition. This is where you throw it down. And this is all about orientations, as we mentioned. So making them understand, making it clear what you do and how you and that you can help them with what they're thinking, what their problem is, whatever they came with when they landed on the homepage. So this is all about a value proposition, crosshead, maybe a subhead expanding on it. You can have a couple of paragraphs going into the benefits, features, navigation, and UX is important as well. For example, you might have in navigation a couple of personas, use case pages, solution pages. So everything that just at a quick glance can help visitors understand what you do can be super helpful, because remember, it's all about also looking at the subconscious level, like all the just like we look and pay attention to body language. You can imagine your website to almost having like a body language of its own, right? Something that it's not only the copy you write, but also the design conveys information, the elements in the navigation menu, the UX in general. So just keep that in mind. And finally, calls to action. So primary and secondary. Always have one primary call to action, which is your main goal, whether it's signing up for a trial or downloading a white paper or looking at the pricing page, just because you know that they are probably not going to be convinced right away. So whatever that is, just keep it at one main goal, and then you can have secondary calls to action that point them to other pages to dig deeper. For how we do it, this is all about stimulation. So making it clear uh, how you are different, better and different, or better or different from other solutions. And this is all about features and benefits, and you should always include both, right? So we have, it's all about how people make decisions. Again, you might have people who need to see some jargon, some technical terminology. So in that case, it's important that you show the features. And you have other people who pay more attention to the benefits. Maybe they're not as aware or not as sophisticated. But in any case, I would always try to include both. If you know that your readers are more interested in outcomes, benefits, then you can still have features as highbrow copy or like micro copy throughout the page to still help them internalize and also help other people that might look at the page, other types of decision makers, to understand what you're talking about. Then using media, visuals, examples, anything that can help your people internalize the way that you do it. Contextual social proof. So we talked about proof right away. And in this case, it's even more important that the proof is actually backing up everything, every claim that you make. So having a couple testimonials right after some paragraphs that explain benefits, that actually tell readers how they were successful in using that particular feature, for example. That can be a case of contextual social proof, or talking about a particular dashboard area where you just showed it in a video, right? Use storytelling as well. So it's important to create a narrative if you can, if it fits with your target audience. Good storytelling can go a long way to keep people reading and moving through the page. Then we have 6 out of 7 section, switch and anxiety section. This is all about helping people understand that even better, right? That you are better and a better fit for them compared to other solutions and alternatives. So this is all about addressing objections proactively. Don't let them, don't wait until they're going to ask questions and bring up objections when they speak to your sales reps, right? So try as much as possible to bring up objections right away and address them. Use FAQs, even better if they are relevant. Again, contextual is important. Comparing alternatives, you can either pick a fight with other solutions companies, or you can even avoid mentioning specific names, but you can maybe mention features or ways of doing things that your audience is very familiar with, and use that as a weapon to show them how you do that differently and in a better way. And finally, set expectations for how it works. It's important to show them not only how your product works, but also the process for getting started with your product. That's really important. Sets expectations for how they should interact with the website along the rest of their journey. It was actually step 6, but this is step 6. Switch and anxiety. We are all about security and convenience here. So, again, kind of making it clear why they should switch, remember the habit of the present that we looked at the beginning. So addressing their switching cost is very important. So maybe use more logos, case studies here, go a long way, especially because now if they got to this stage here, they probably are dedicating more time and effort into understanding what you do. So using case studies can be very beneficial. More testimonials, video testimonials work very well in this section here. Authority content can be blogs, white papers, guides, anything that showcases how you are an authority in your field. Review site badges, if you have reviews on G2 or Capterra, any of those, or Trustpilot, any of those here work pretty well, again, to address this switch. Finally, the close. This is all about confirmation, as we mentioned. So you see this little guy getting all the money sucked. This is what you want to do, not literally, but figuratively. Final call to action, reconnecting with the value proposition. Again, we go full circle. Here we basically logically or emotionally are coming to a close, and we tell them, you remember what we just told you at the beginning? This, now you know everything, now we know how we do it, so this is the moment that you need to move forward if you really want to achieve that outcome or solve that problem. We remind them of the why and how we do it again, just to reconnect with the value proposition. And finally, we inject some urgency and scarcity, and you can do it all sorts of ways. So this is the typical structure for our homepage. If you want to walk through your homepage, feel free to get in touch um, on Growth Mentor. You can find me on Growth Mentor or get in touch on my website. In the next video, I'm going to actually walk you through this exact same structure, showing you a couple of examples of websites that I worked on. So don't miss that. It's going to be good.